and welcome to the Anniston Museum of Natural History's Collections Department. My name is Cheyenne Strickland and I am the Collections Assistant here. Now you'll notice behind me I have lots of Native American artifacts, and I wanted to highlight some of those today because it's actually Native American Heritage Month. So I've pulled out a few pieces of pottery and an example of a wood carving so that I could tell you a little bit about Native American pottery and how you can tell the difference where it's located. First up, we have an Inuit whalebone bowl. Now you may be wondering why they would make something out of whalebone, but the Inuit actually hunted sea animals, which makes sense because they lived up near Alaska along the coast. So when they would find these whales, they of course would eat the whale, but then they would use the other resources it provided, like the bones, to make things like bowls. They also had access to wood, so sometimes they would carve things like this little sea otter effigy here that you can see. He's very cute, and the wood is a little bit different than what we would find around here. It kind of has more of a hollow feel. Next up, if you look at this bowl here, you can maybe guess where it's from. If you've gone outside and dug in the earth around here, you know that we have lots and lots of red clay. So this is from Alabama. This would have been one of the Southwestern tribes, and you can tell because it has that nice pinkish color. Now when it comes to clay bowls, they figured out how to make these because they would actually line little wicker baskets like this with clay, and whenever they would heat the basket, they realized that once it melted away, it would leave behind this hardened clay pot. And they would use these for various things. They would use them, of course, for water, but they would also use them for storing seeds. They would use them for storing crops, because around here it was more agriculturally based than it was hunting based. Moving on, we have a Southwestern tribes bowl. Now the Southwestern tribes have been making pottery for a very, very long time, and there's been relatively little change. Theirs tends to be more artistic in nature. So we still don't know what all of the symbols mean because a lot of the tribes like to protect them because they are cultural or religious importance. But you can see here that they used more of a red tone. So you can think of something like the Grand Canyon, you can think of all those red cliffs and things, and it makes sense as to why their bowls would be like that. And then they would take paints made from various things, whether it be berries, whether it be rocks crushed up, and they would paint the inside of it and the outside of it to create these intricate designs. And it was the same way in the Southwest as it was here. They would fire these bowls in bonfires that could reach up to 1300 degrees. Now when the railroads came along, Native American pottery became more of an artistic trade, so we can see a lot more of it today, but it's kind of rare to find whole pots like this preserved in the earth. So since it's Native American Heritage Month, I just wanted to highlight a couple of these things for you, and I hope that you go out today and you learn a little bit more about this fantastic art form.